Reactive training systems.
What I'd say is there's no ideal technique, and it's unhelpful to think in those terms. But there is a concept we can use to kind of talk about the things you guys are both circling around. And that concept is invariance. There are certain things that inhere in a task, that inhere in the nature of the task, that are invariant. And usually invariance just come down to physics. So to use the squat as an example, there's a lot of things people can do differently and have an effective squat. What you will never see is someone squatting really, truly maximal limit weight for their strength with their heels completely off the floor, standing up on the balls of their feet, right? So we need flat feet for efficient force transference, or essentially flat feet. What else? Balance, as you said. You need to have enough balance across your foot that you're not tipping forward, backward, side to side. These are invariants, right? There's no ideal technique, but there is the laws of physics. And so what I'll typically do if I'm coaching somebody totally new on a squat, what I'll actually tell them for their first squat ever is, just do a squat. I want you to squat down. And they'll do it. And sometimes, like, a very common thing is their heels are too far off the floor. They're up on their toes. So what I tell them is, I'd like you to keep your feet flat. Can you adjust the position of your feet so that you can keep them flat? And what do they all do? They all widen their stance, right? And so I think, kind of to go along with what Mel was saying, I don't know what I would even gain out of an idealization of technique other than giving the athlete something to strive for that's actually not relevant. What's actually relevant is whether they can accomplish the task, where maybe the task is a maximal squat to powerlifting standards. Maybe the task is squatting in a way that really exposes your quads or your glutes to the load, depending on what you're trying to do. And giving them clues that help them explore and figure out their technique. And we can aid those clues with the understanding of invariance, which is, pretty much the laws of physics. All of my clients at this point just know, if I'm doing any movement that looks at all like a squat, if I'm doing a back squat, a front squat, a leg press, a hack squat, a belt squat, my feet need to be flat. I need to be able to go as low as is required of me based on whatever standard we're using. I need to be able to keep my back basically straight. And as long as I'm doing those things, I'm meeting the requirements. And their job is to figure out how to adjust their body to do that. At no point in that process do I need to refer to an idealized model of technique that doesn't actually apply to any human on the planet. It only applies to an abstraction.
Hey, let me tell you something that I know about you. Your lifting is important to you. It's probably one of your biggest priorities. And for people like us, nothing compares to the feeling that you get when you set a new PR. That feeling of being the best that you've ever been, of doing something that you've never done before. This is what we're all after, and it's also what RTS specializes in. Getting you the absolute best program possible so that you can hit new PRs and reach your goals. We call it radically individualized training, and we're really good at it. Whether we need to account for busy schedules or equipment limitations, or precisely turn the dials and get the details of the program just right, we have the tools and the experience to guide your lifting to the next level. To us, coaching is all about leadership, relationship, and creative problem solving. A coach should be poised to help you make tough decisions about training and competing so that you can continually grow in your development. And of course, a coach should be a first-rate problem solver, especially when it comes to your training, technique, and strategy. Now, all this has to be built off of a really strong, professional coaching relationship that emphasizes trust and respect. Additionally, RTS coaches are not on an island. We have a strong network of professionals to reach out to, so if you find yourself in need of some specific expertise, say in the realm of nutrition or injury management or sports psychology, there's a deep expertise available there too. For more information, go to store.reactivetrainingsystems.com and click on coaching. That's store.reactivetrainingsystems.com, then click on coaching. Hope to see you on the team soon.